You're watching the 4 o'clock news on Oklahoma's News 4.
Ashamed because I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
Fireworks in D.C. President Trump's former attorney turns on his former boss. The evidence, he claims, shows Trump paid him to keep quiet.
And caught on camera what Russell Westbrook said to a little boy who pushed him.
In the end, they ended up with a near record seizure of fentanyl.
A huge haul here. Drugs seized during a traffic stop. What tipped police off that something just wasn't right? We're going to get to those stories in just a moment. Thanks for joining us here at 4. I'm Jolene Cheney.
And I'm Eli Roberts. We're going to begin today in the Fort Warren Storm Center, where Mike and our team have been working overtime all night. Mike, it is a mess out there.
Well, Eli, yes, still more freezing drizzle out there, folks, for your afternoon drive. Just very simply, it is not over yet. Temperatures are nearly 12 degrees below freezing, so any of that liquid is freezing on impact. Not a good situation at all. Of course, this morning was terrible across much of Oklahoma travel-wise. We'll talk more about that. Let's take a look. Our storm trackers are out, and we still have freezing fog, freezing drizzle, Arctic cold, wind chill factors very close to 0 right now here in Oklahoma City. And I tell you, the freezing drizzle is really tough to let up. Eventually, it will start to lighten up, but it's taking its time. And here's the Belle Isle Bridge, and I can tell you, even since 3 o'clock today, although the Belle Isle's been treated for sure, elevated surfaces here. Traffic has slowed down quite a bit. That's a good call. 21 degrees right now. Look at the wind. North at 22, gusting to about 30. Wind chill running +4. Temperatures right now hovering just above the high teens. It is 19 in El Reno, 21 in Guthrie, and 21 in Edmond, and Moore is 23. Low 20s and high teens in northern Oklahoma right now. A 5 wind chill in Oklahoma City, a 5 wind chill in Clinton. From the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, slick and hazardous right now. Northern Oklahoma down into parts of the metro area. Let me show you this 14-car pileup this morning. This was just before sunrise. This was the westbound exit ramp off the Broadway extension onto Interstate 44 at about 63rd Street North. 14-car pileup. Some cars were crushed under a semi. They're piled on top of each other, and for quite a while that ramp was closed, and that was from this morning. Let's go to Mark Dillard now, live from Stars and Stripes Park on this Wednesday afternoon.
Yes, Mike, this wind just illustrates what's going on here. It's blowing the spray right off the lake, and it's freezing on contact with just about everything it comes in contact with. So just want to remind folks that as this freezing drizzle and fog rolls through, temperatures, as Mike said, well under freezing, so it's going to freeze and could cause a problem for the drive. So just take it easy out there. Watch those bridges for sure. Back to you.
Take it easy indeed. Here's the traveler's advisory. This continues for the rest of this evening, folks. All of southwestern, all of central, including the metro, and all of northern Oklahoma. That is a traveler's and winter weather advisory. Eli and Jolene, moderately high on the roads for impacts here. Important graphic. Bridges high to extreme, wind chills high to extreme, and we've had some closings as well. The ice forecast shows it slowly tapers off this evening, but it's going to take some more time, so folks have got to be very, very careful. More coming up.
Thank you, Mike. Bullets flying today during a high-speed chase.
Reports of the suspect reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour, and you saw that pile up. It was all on icy roads and streets. All before that chase ended up in a metro apartment complex, and that's where we find News 4's Jacqueline Chappell. Jacqueline, what exactly happened today?
As you can see, there is still a heavy police presence here at this apartment complex, and police confirmed to us about 30 minutes ago that one person has been arrested. Now, this chase happened shortly around 12:30, and police say it started when they were searching for a homicide suspect. They attempted to pull over a silver car on I-35, and that car refused to stop, and the chase began, traveling speeds up to 110 miles per hour on I-40. Eventually, the suspect stopped at this apartment complex near Northwest 10th and Glade and jumped out of his car with a gun in his hand. That's when the officer ran after him.
He confronted the suspect in a breezeway at the apartment complex where the suspect turned with a gun in his hand. The officer did discharge his firearm one time at the suspect.
And police say that the suspect was not hit by that gunshot, and he took off, and officers found him and did arrest him. Now, he is not the original homicide suspect that they were looking for, but he does have a felony record and should not have had a gun. Reporting live here in Northwest Oklahoma City, Jacqueline Chappell, Oklahoma's News 4.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Now to Noble, where a middle school student has been arrested. According to police, school officials were alerted to a potential threat this morning. A short time later, a student was discovered with a weapon. That student quickly taken into custody, no reports of any injuries. Right now, officials say they are not releasing any other details.
And now we turn to the news that is dominating national headlines. And that, of course, is President Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, testifying on Capitol Hill.
Our Kevin Ogle has this all covered from the Sky Center. Kevin, testimony pretty tense.
Man, oh man, has it been. I tell you, Michael Cohen, described as Donald Trump's fixer, detailed his dealings with the president. And before the congressional hearing began, Cohen's opening statement, he called the president a racist, a con man, and a cheat. But the White House says Cohen is an admitted liar. Here's NBC's Blaine Alexander.
Today, Michael Cohen, the president's former attorney and fixer, testifying before the House Oversight Committee, says he regrets the 10 years he spent working for President Trump.
I am ashamed because I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
Cohen saying President Trump knew his political advisor, Roger Stone, was in contact with WikiLeaks during the 2016 campaign about the release of hacked Democratic Party emails and that the president embraced the idea.
Mr. Trump responded by stating to the effect, "Wouldn't that be great?"
Cohen says he threatened people or entities at least 500 times while working for the president, and that he made hush money payments during the campaign at President Trump's request, showing a copy of the president's personal check.
To cover up his affair with an adult film star and to prevent damage to his campaign.
And you have a history of lying over and over and over again.
Republicans working to discredit Cohen, who is headed to prison in part for lying to Congress.
No one should ever listen to you and give you credibility. It's sad.
President Trump from Vietnam tweeting Cohen did bad things unrelated to Trump. But Cohen says he lied to Congress about a scrapped Trump Tower project in Russia because the president implicitly directed him to.
Mr. Trump did not directly tell me to lie to Congress. That's not how he operates.
During the hearing, Cohen apologized to Congress and to his family. And tomorrow, Michael Cohen will wrap up his marathon 3 days of testimony. He will go back behind closed doors and speak before the House Intelligence Committee. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
And we will continue to follow it, of course. That's all from the Sky Center. Back to you.
And Kevin, while Blaine did touch on that in her package, while all of this was unfolding in D.C., President Trump was meeting North Korea's Kim Jong-un. They were having dinner in what the White House called a social gathering. All of this happening in Hanoi, Vietnam. The two leaders today kicked off their second face-to-face meeting, all with the goal of getting North Korea to denuclearize. The president says he's optimistic that Chairman Kim will halt all nuclear testing and eventually dismantle his weapons.
And a lot of things are going to be resolved, I hope, and I think it'll lead to really a wonderful situation long term. And our relationship is a very special relationship.
President Trump and Chairman Kim will reconvene later for formal talks. A press conference is planned if any agreement is reached.
And on Crime Watch, a huge drug seizure along I-40.
It was big. It happened earlier this month after police stopped a truck hauling other vehicles. And during that traffic stop, the officer became suspicious of one of those vehicles being hauled on the trailer. It turns out the officer was right. After getting permission to search, that officer found secret compartments in one of the vehicles, and inside, illegal drugs.
In the end, they ended up with a near record seizure of fentanyl, obviously a very, very dangerous drug. They recovered a large amount of heroin and meth. They recovered 43 pounds of methamphetamines.
Police don't believe at this time that the driver knew about the drugs, and that's why he was released after being interviewed by authorities. The 19 pounds of fentanyl ended up being the second largest fentanyl seizure in Oklahoma State history. Right now, investigators are still trying to figure out where all of those drugs came from, along with where they were going and who was involved.
A thunderstar calls foul on a fan during last night's game against Denver. Keep your eyes on the bottom of the screen there as Russell Westbrook gets close to the first row of seats. You can see the young boy there who's standing on the court reaches out to give Westbrook a little push. Westbrook then drops the ball, leans in for a chat. After the game, Westbrook says he told the boy's father, "Be careful. You can't have your son just hitting random people." To his credit, Westbrook did give the boy a quick handshake before returning to the floor. Time now to take a look at what is hot on the web. Cookies, cops, and contraband.
And it all started out as a feel-good story, but now we know the man dubbed as the cookie hero is really a suspected drug dealer. Take a look at that photo. It quickly went viral. A Good Samaritan posing with two Girl Scouts after buying $540 worth of cookies. It's a lot of cookies to eat. He did it so those two girls wouldn't have to stay outside in the cold. But Tuesday, the story took a turn when the cookie hero was arrested, all on federal drug charges. He's accused of planning to import heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl from Mexico, and then to distribute those drugs.
Also, check this out here. This might make you a little nervous. Nearly 24 military choppers flying above Hollywood. It was not part of a movie plot, but actually just an Army training exercise over LA. 22 Black Hawk and Apache helicopters flew over Tinseltown on their way to San Diego.
Looks like Armageddon.
Yeah. Nail biting, smoking, spending too much time on the internet, just some bad habits people would like to stop.
Exhibit A right here. But for many people, breaking habits can become overwhelming. In today's Health Check, the key to kicking those bad habits.
I think my biggest pet peeve is people telling me that I can't.
Don't tell that to a girl. Breaking barriers here, what she just did that no woman has ever done before.
And freezing temps and drizzle, it is a bad combination for Oklahoma drivers. Winter's not going away. We're going to tell you when the next round of Arctic air arrives and what it's going to bring with it. Get this. Stay tuned because Mike Morgan's next.
Also, a quick programming note here to pass along. Because of the NBC special report, today's episode of Days of Our Lives did not air, and we're going to be re-airing that overnight starting at 2:30 a.m. this morning, so set your DVR.
Forewarn Weather is sponsored by Newcastle Casino. Now, Forewarn Weather with Mike Morgan.
Well, what a day today. Well over 100 non-injury accidents today. Of course, there's still lots of cars off in ditches, and now the afternoon drive coming in with more freezing drizzle and freezing fog. And it's so cold. Wind chills are just above zero here in Oklahoma City. Break down the latest here for you. Talk about our upcoming weekend storm as well. Our storm trackers are out today. We'll be checking in with them throughout the day here on News 4. So let's show you here from Aaron Brackett in the Interceptor here throughout the day. We had all the water here out on Lake Hefner blowing up freezing water onto the shore out there at the lighthouse by Red Rock, with north winds gusting 30 and 35 miles per hour. Unfortunately, this is a very common scene today with well over 100 non-injury accidents, 2 fatalities up in Blaine County earlier today. More from Aaron Brackett there crisscrossing the metro. Now, for the afternoon drive, there is still freezing fog and still some thickening light freezing mist outside. And the important factor is the temperature is way below 32. There's the Belle Isle Bridge. Folks continue to slow down, a lot slower than it was even an hour and a half ago here, running around 20 to 25 miles an hour. Of course, this is a notorious spot for slick areas in the northwest side of the metro. Any elevated surface, bridge or overpass is very much fair game for black ice and very slick roads. We're 21 degrees right now, wind chill running at 5 with a north wind at 22, gusting to almost 35 miles per hour. El Reno's 19. These are not even the wind chill factors. Low 20s elsewhere. Norman's 23, 21 in Enid, 25 in Alva right now. Wind chill of 12 in Stillwater and a wind chill of 7 in Ponca City. From the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, slick and hazardous roads here from the northwest and north metro through northern Oklahoma. But even since this report came out less than 1 hour ago, we've had waves of more light freezing drizzle in the metro. So elevated surfaces, bridges and overpasses with it 21 degrees outside, slick and hazardous. Main roadways, icy patches as well. The road crews are doing the best job they can. The traffic is helping from time to time, but being so cold and still some lingering moisture out there, it makes for a dicey afternoon drive. Want to take plenty of time if you're traveling anywhere the rest of this afternoon or this evening. Bitter cold Arctic air continues to drain in. Now, our next storm system is on the way. It's this one way out here. It's all the way north of Hawaii, but the combination here, this comes right across Oklahoma, and the timeline on that is Saturday night, and Sunday, at least the first half of Sunday. 2 more surges of bitter cold Arctic air move in, one during the storm and a second, the coldest air of the winter season, at the tail end of the storm. So this is going to be a significant weather maker for us over the weekend. Right now, for the rest of this evening, a winter weather and travelers advisory covers a large part of our state, just like it has all day and last night. Southwestern, all of central, all of northern, now all of eastern Oklahoma. So yes, widespread still slick travel conditions continue. So for the roadways, we'll go moderate to high impact, bridges high to extreme. This is for the rest of this afternoon and this evening. Wind chill factors also extreme as well. There's where the accumulated ice goes deeper into the evening hours into all of eastern Oklahoma. We're still going to paint it red for this evening in the metro. Red means ice. Temperatures right around 18 to 19 degrees by the 10 o'clock news. Ponca City 17 by 10 and Alva 14. So bundle up. Some wind chill factors below zero. This moisture does move on by. Our low in the morning, tomorrow morning, it'll be dry by then, but 17 with a wind chill factor of about 0. Eventually some sunshine by mid-morning comes in tomorrow. We'll climb to about 37. So with the help of some afternoon sun, we'll get above freezing for a daytime high. 17 our low. Later tonight, after this evening's freezing drizzle, it will be dry. 16 to 18 for metro lows tonight. 9 in Woodward tonight, 10 in Alva. You want to drip your faucets tonight from central into northern and western Oklahoma. Clinton 14, Ponca City 15, 37. It'll take a while to get there, but as sunshine comes on out, 37 for a high. And there are your metro highs, 36 to 38, and statewide 34 to 46 for Thursday. Friday, low gray cloud cover comes back in, and a bit of afternoon drizzle possible. Friday's high, a chilly 44. Look at Saturday, that chance of ice and snow coming up.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I heard him. 30!
Well, you know, I had to go build so much. She just cruised around the corner.
And welcome back. Now this weekend, developing ice on Saturday, then Saturday night and Sunday, snow, central and northern Oklahoma. They're your metro snowfall totals, anywhere from a dusting to about 2.5 inches. Guys, 37 tomorrow after a low of 17, 44 becoming cloudy Friday, 32 with ice developing Saturday, then snow Saturday night. Look at those lows, down to 8. Sunday's high only 20 degrees, more at 4:30.
Thank you, Mike. In today's health check, the key to breaking a bad habit.
Ask anyone who's ever tried it, and it's easier said than done. Whether it's giving up smoking or eating junk food, most people have a habit that they've tried to break and failed. Experts say a good rule of thumb to breaking that bad habit is to replace it with a good one. If you're wondering how long it takes to convert a bad habit into a good habit, most experts say, this is not exact science, that it takes a little over 2 months, but in some cases, a little longer. So if that's you, hang in there. Breaking barriers on the gridiron.
A 22-year-old football player making headlines, and everybody's talking about it. Here's Heather Holman with the details on this. Heather.
Well, that 22-year-old's name is Toni Harris, and she is believed to be the first female football player to get a scholarship to play defense at a 4-year university.
When someone throws the word no at Toni Harris, you can bet she'll intercept it and make you pay.
I think my biggest pet peeve is people telling me that I can't, and so I have to prove them wrong.
The word no couldn't stop her from becoming a free safety for East LA College, the community college team she played for the past 2 seasons.
They've said a lot of things about Toni Harris.
Nor could it keep her from starring in a Super Bowl commercial for Toyota.
Yeah, people have made a lot of assumptions about Toni.
But I've never been a big fan of assumptions.
The no's couldn't hold Toni back when she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer at age 18 and lost nearly half her weight. And they certainly didn't block her from receiving scholarship offers from half a dozen schools, prompting this moment.
I will be signing to Central Methodist University.
After revealing her pick in dramatic fashion, Toni signed her letter of intent, surrounded by supporters, including her coach for the past 2 years.
Well, I didn't make it easy for her. You know, I made her work for everything she got, but her resilience really is what pushed her through.
I just really appreciate my coaches for it. Sorry, I said I was going to cry.
But for Toni, it's time to move the chains down the field.
Sorry, I can't stop smiling when I say that.
She should be smiling, and she is tough. Well, Toni isn't done dreaming. She says she sees her future playing in the NFL. She's big time, guys.
Yeah, and listen, football is no easy sport, so good luck to her just in terms of, you know, staying well. Anyway, we're going to be back right after this. Heather, thank you for that. Stay tuned.